Because, hey, look, the only time I see our young black boys and young black girls dress up to go to a funeral, go sit in court, Easter Sunday maybe, and maybe for a wedding. Now, that's just not enough.
Take the opportunity.
Take the opportunity.
To present your best version of yourself.
For sure.
You said this is player development, personal development for the youth.
And so to see all of those kids coming there dressed up, the parents were dressed up too as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what was going on that day or what was going on that week. Like that moment right there was everything for me.
Yes, and it was a long road for us to get there.
For sure.
But we got there, and it was beautiful. It was definitely beautiful.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, and it's one of those things where, like I was telling one kid, I was just like, we're just sitting off to the side talking. We was at the front entrance. He was an older kid, and he had told me, he was like, Coach, I ain't never seen my mom dressed up. I ain't gonna say the kid name. I ain't never seen my mom dressed up. She looked real nice today. I said, you should go tell her that. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I'm a big believer of kids will aspire to be whatever you expose them to.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rim segment where we relive explicit moments with our guests and unpack impactful parts of the dreamer's journey. And today we have none other than Kennard Turner, Coach K, as I like to call him. He is the president of the 404 Bulls Youth Organization and the CEO of Locker Room Sports Apparel. How are you doing, Coach K? How you doing?
Doing absolutely incredible.
That's amazing. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
I truly admire your entrepreneurial spirit, so that's why you're here.
Yes. We like to talk about getting to the bag, but we also like to talk about the journey that it took to get to, the bag or whatever goal it is that's at the end of your rainbow there. So
for sure.
How did you get started? What sparked your, this entrepreneurial spirit for you?
We got time today?
We got 20
time.
minutes. Actually, let me set the timer.
Because he look like he like,
Well, look, I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as possible. But growing up in school, they always ask what you want to be when you grow up, right?
Yep.
I never had an answer. You know what I mean? So I was always the person that just tried anything. You know what I mean? So I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I think growing up because my dad's an entrepreneur. I saw my dad work a job for 20 plus years, quit it, and started his entrepreneurial journey in his late 40s.
What did he do?
He actually owns a tree business where he cuts down trees, essentially, still to this day. You know what I mean? So shout out to the term tree removal. But, I saw that growing up, and then I guess subconsciously it was always kind of like there. You know what I mean? So after high school, I joined the military, just, on a whim. Didn't know anything. Well, I take it back. Went to college for a year. Joined the military, you know what I'm saying? Did that for a little bit of time, then got out and was just trying to figure out what I was doing. Worked a couple different jobs, but I always had been involved with the youth, you know what I'm saying? But even prior to that, I always was a artistic person, you know what I mean? Like I used to draw a lot growing up, you know what I mean? Hell, I used to draw the programs for like elementary school, like when they had the Honors Day programs before all this digital technology, had to draw everything by hand. And so one day I was coaching youth football, and my team needed some jerseys. And so, the park we was at, they gave us some jerseys. They weren't the best looking jerseys. I wanted something different. And so what ended up happening was kind of went on a search to find someone I could buy some jerseys from, you know what I mean? So I found a guy, I'm not going to say the name of his business, but in a whole other state. And, the design was good and the material was good, but his business acumen and service was just terrible. You know what I mean? So this was on a Thursday. I remember like it was yesterday. It was on a Thursday. He had to drive them all the way down here to me. I didn't like the quality of them. So what ended up happening was I literally went to YouTube to figure out how to use Photoshop. You know what I mean? So went to YouTube, spent about 1,000 hours on Photoshop. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm just going to design my own uniform. I don't know how I'm going to get them made, but I'm a designer. So spent a lot of time doing that. And then long story short, I end up going through a long process to get the jerseys made. Then I didn't think, I thought they were decent. I didn't think they were like fire and that, you know what I'm saying? But once I brought them to practice and the kids saw them and the parents saw them, everybody fell in love with them. You know what I mean? And that whole entire season, everyone kept asking, where'd you get the uniforms from? Where you get the uniforms from? And I was like, damn, this might be a business. You know what I mean? Like, so at that point, I decided to, I guess, take a chance. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I've always been into art. I've always been into designing. I always want to have like my own clothing brand. You know what I mean? So, basically, I started right there. You know what I mean? Literally just self-taught. You know what I'm saying? No professional training. Literally, you know what I'm saying? Sourcing manufacturers day in, day out. You know what I mean? So, like I said, just all self-taught. And the good thing about it is when you're self-taught, you kind of sort of, the experience you get, you'll never be able to get in a book. You know what I mean? So, I think that's what makes my business extremely unique, on top of the fact that most of my clients, you know what I'm saying, they're in the sports world. I'm in the sports world, so it makes it an easy transition for me, you know what I'm saying, because I know what they kind of want, versus someone else that just does it to earn $1. They don't necessarily know, you know what I mean? They're not involved with parents, they're not involved with booster clubs. They don't know, you know what I mean? They don't kind of have an idea of what, you know what I'm saying, the culture wants, so to speak. So that's kind of how I got started, you know what I mean?
So how long ago was that?
That was back in, 2022, so that was back in the fall of 2015.
Oh, wow. That's only 5 years.
I take it back.
7 years, yeah.
2014 is when I designed those jerseys. 2015 is when I took the leap of faith, said, okay, all right, I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do this for real.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Wow. And you do that full time now?
I do it full time. Well, in 2015, I quit my job. I was working for Henry County School System.
Right? You're an educator.
Something like that.
What did you do?
I worked in education, so I did a little bit of everything. I was kind of like a utility person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There weren't a lot of men in the school system, so I kind of served in a few different roles, actually. You know what I mean?
It's very common. I'm from DeKalb County School District.
Right, yeah. So I 2015 came, and I basically was just like, all right, I'm going to do this full time, right? Not really knowing anything about business, you know what I mean? So I didn't have an LLC.
Wow.
I didn't have a business license. Didn't have anything. So I did all that in a matter of, let's say, about 30 days. You know what I mean? I literally just went on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, Google. You know, it was my best friend because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have someone to say, even my dad, you know what I'm saying, like, he knew some stuff, but, you know what I mean, he started his business years ago, so he didn't necessarily know, today's current, you know what I mean? So, and even with that, he had someone help him, you know what I mean? So, did that, and business was good for about, let's just say, from about July till about October. Right, business was good. Money was coming in.
Well, that's the season. That's when everybody is starting
their stuff, right?
Right, that's the season for football. But sports is football, baseball, basketball, hockey, lacrosse, cheer, everything. Right. Yeah. So at this moment, I was really focused more so. I was trying to do every sport, really. You know what I mean? I was just trying to get tapped in with everybody I possibly could because I was already in the youth sports world. I had a lot of connections with coaches and program directors. So it was good to about October. And I remember, it was probably like around Halloween, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, cool. I had just finished on my last order, whatever the case would be. And then the orders just stopped coming in from like November, December, January. I think I was down to like my last $2,300.
Wow.
To my name.
Wow.
Bills got to be paid, you know what I'm saying? Folks got to eat, you know what I mean? So at that point, I really was just like, man, you know what? I remember sitting at the crib. I was sitting at the aisle on the bar stool, and I had called my mom. I was just like, she's like, she had called me. She's like, what? She called me every day. I was like, what you doing? I'm sitting here trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. And she was like, what's wrong? I was just telling her, I was like, man, I had an order in like wherever. I got a lot of leads, you know what I'm saying? But those leads never materialized, you know what I mean? So at that point, I was going to go back and work a job. Literally had went on a job interview, got the job, right? You know what I'm saying? And literally accepted the job, right? This was like on a Tuesday. I think Wednesday came, and a guy by the name of Lance from the city of College Park called me. He was like, hey, man, I got your contact information from such and such, man. Want to see if you want to come in and see if you can do some stuff for us, yada, 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 yada. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not thinking nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Go into his office, pretty much tell me whatever they need, and end up getting a contract with the city of College Park.
Wow.
So
in the 11th hour.
Right, in the 11th hour, right? So at that point, I'm like, all right, I might still be able to do this, right? And so from that point, business honestly has grown probably about 35% every single year. You know what I mean? There has been a lot of ups. There's definitely been a lot of downs. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I got started. You know what I mean? As far as like, just kind of getting everything in motion.
Yeah. So would you say that season of not having sales coming in for that time, would you say that was the scariest part of your journey, or what has been the scariest part of your journey?
Oh, by far it was that, and then it was COVID.
You know I mean? Yeah, then sports kind of sort of shut down for a moment.
Yeah, so it was scary, but at the same time it was a blessing because, one, I make everything custom. You know what I'm saying? So that's the unique thing about my business. I make everything custom to the customer specifications. So anything that you see from me, you would never see a duplicate of. Right. Can't say that about anybody else, but for me, for sure. You know what I mean? And I'm big on building brands. So, I try to make it tailored to whatever their brand is. You know what I mean? So when COVID happened, sports pretty much shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't have any secondary items that I could sell. But what it did was it forced me to kind of sort of acquire new skills and kind of sort of project where I wanted my business to go. So during that time of COVID, you know what I'm saying, I spent a lot of time working on my, I guess you want to say videography skills, camera skills for content. You know what I mean? Because essentially, running a business now, you got to be somewhat of a content creator, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, so.
So COVID really kind of sort of helped me bring out that part of me, which I already had, because I had the tools to be a content creator. I had the camera that I never used. You know what I mean? I got for Father's Day some years back, one of those nice Canons, right? You know what I mean? I had the tripod, the backdrop, I had everything you would possibly need to make content. And so I spent that time during COVID really kind of sort of, you know what I'm saying, especially in the early part of COVID, working on my content. And it proved to pay off, because probably about like July, you know what I mean, just, constantly posting, and things kind of opening back up. I ascended to a new customer base.
Yeah. So I know in a meeting we had, because we're gonna get to the real reason why you're here next. But I know you said that you handle like 70% of the uniforms
in the Metro Atlanta area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how did you get, I guess, the consistency of it?
Grinding every single day, and not taking no for an answer. I don't meet strangers. I mean, well enough. I talk to everybody. So one thing that I did, I'm not a big email guy, because I feel like that's so impersonal. I'm not gonna call you on the phone. Hey, that's impersonal. I'm gonna show up to your job, and I'm gonna say, hey, can I speak to the athletic director? Can I speak to the Boost Club president? Can I speak to the head football coach? Can I speak to? And so for me, that was the thing that kind of set me apart, I think. You know what I mean? I just went out and did the work. You know what I mean? And so, getting the contract with the city of College Park really showed me something in regards to kind of where I want my business to go. You know what I mean? I want to be more contract based. So generally when you deal with middle schools, high schools, municipalities, they're contract based. Contracts mean guaranteed money.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, just literally, those people that y'all hate to come to y'all door trying to sell y'all something, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I literally just,
somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it.
I would literally just go to, I would pick a county every, let's say, month. And I would start at the elementary schools, then I would go to the middle schools, then I would go to the high schools, then I would go to the rec departments. And, some people said no. A lot of people said maybe. Some people said yes. All I need is that one yes.
There we go.
You know what I mean? I get that one yes, I'll let everything else take care of itself. So, and you know what I mean? And so I think that's always, my business isn't perfect. You know what I mean? I have a lot of flaws, but I think that's the thing that's always set me apart from everyone else. Just doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep. Log on to eShop and Drop store right now to check out our new Nightmare Radio Show merch. Grab a Drake-inspired t-shirt while supplies last and use our discount code Nightmare Madness for $20 off any 2 items.
Days keep flying, but that's on me. I'm so sick of wasting time. Can't you see I'm on the line? I'll keep trying to find my wings, and when I do, I ain't never coming down.
Dope. Okay, so you got a question? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad. I was about to steer it completely because I wanted to get into your community outreach and the impact that you've had on these kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Is that a...
Go ahead, ask.
Okay, so first I wanted to know, you mentioned briefly, you said that you went to the military and that you worked another job, but what was the connection to the youth, and why? How did you get there? What made you want to be connected in the youth, in coaching and in through sports?
I am one of four. You know what I'm saying? I got an older brother, older sister, younger sister, and I just always. I come from a fairly tight knit, large family, so just being oriented with people has always been a thing for me. The cliche of children are our future, I believe that. It's not a cliche for me. And I love football. I love sports in general, right? And so growing up, I played youth football, and I was lucky enough to have my father in my life every single day, took me to practice.
Wow, yeah.
But I also had some really awesome coaches that were mentors that are still to this day I still communicate with, you know what I mean? And so I just realized, like, hey, I want to be that guy. I want to be that person. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ever the kid that was like, oh, man, I look up to Michael Jordan or somebody. I looked up to my dad and these other guys in the community that I could see them doing the work. You get what I'm saying? And so for me, the first chance I got to get my hands dirty and deal with the youth, I literally was 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? My former youth football coach was still coaching football at the time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I called him up and said, hey, man, I think I want to try this. You know what I'm saying? He was like, all right, cool. Came out there, shot at the Coach McCall. And over there at Glenwood Hills Exchange Park, which is where I played it, which is where I first started coaching at. And I coached for about 3 years. You know what I mean? It was a learning experience, obviously just dealing with kids. But also, too, I always had a knack for when I taught people listen. You know what I mean? But I've always had a situation where, it's just, I've always liked to mentor folks. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something I like to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be old at one point in time. You know what I mean? So somebody's going to be able to take of me, but also, too, I don't want these. If I can, it's what I forget the quote that Tupac said. He might not something, but he may spark the mind to change the world. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel. You know what I mean?
I think like that, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So been dealing with youth sports and just the youth since 18. Be 40 this year, so you can do the math. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I've always felt like sports was a good bait. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard now. Maybe about 20, 30 years ago, you can be like, hey, go sign up at the YMCA and kids will come. But you got to get something to get them in there and to kind of work on them, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, physically, emotionally. You know what I mean?
Coach to coach. I'm also a coach.
Right.
And I think it's clear. It's fair to say that it's definitely bigger than whatever sport or discipline.
For sure.
It's bigger than football.
Yeah.
It's bigger for me than cheer.
Right.
So, but that's the avenue that allows me to impact these girls, to make the connections.
Yeah.
Very commendable. Very commendable.
So how did you get to founding or starting the 404 Bulls? How did you get there?
All right. So, so this is my second time doing this, actually.
Okay.
So I was living in Henry County, and I had started a group called Georgia Elite Sports Academy. It's still in existence to this day. You know what I mean? Same foundation, same principles of just kind of sort of using sports as a vessel to reach and teach kids. So what ended up happening was at the time I was living in Locust Grove. You know what I mean? And that was that's like far, far south Henry County. So once I kind of got back closer to the east side, you know what I mean, I was just like, well, I can't keep traveling that way every day. It's just out of my norm. And so a bunch of guys, I was coaching at another park, because I had kind of resigned my position as president there because, I wasn't on that side of town anymore. And a bunch of other guys from another park weren't happy with their situation. It was like, hey, we know you've done this before. You know what I mean? And then my lifelong friend, Edward Calloway, you know what I mean? He had just started coaching. You know what I mean? So he was just kind of like, man, we're both from the east side. You know what I mean? Grew up together, 20 plus years of friendship. He was like, man, let's do something we can be proud of for the next 30 or 40 years.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So we literally had this conversation on a Monday, and I really, we started literally on that Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? That's how we came up with 404 Bulls Youth Development Organization. We don't want to call ourselves a sports organization because that's not what we do. Sports is just a byproduct of what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's been a blessing, you know what I mean, to be able to do this, but also, too, it's been a lot of hard work, you know what I mean, to do it. But it's one of those things where, we kind of want to be a safe haven for kids, you know what I mean. Most of these kids aren't going to grow up and be Steph Curry or LeBron James or, Cam Newton. They're probably going to be like me. They're probably going to be like y'all, you know what I mean. So it's very important that we give them something that they can actually, you know what I'm saying, physically see.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like me. I can look up to Michael Jordan when I was a kid growing up, but I saw my dad.
Can't touch him though.
Yeah, I can't touch him. I saw my dad doing the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every day. I saw Coach McCall doing the work every day. You know what I mean? I saw them. So it was one of those things where it gave me something I could relate to, but also too I could touch, see, and feel, and say, okay, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like I can do that. You know, and so that's kind of the thing that we want to focus on the most. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, as you all know, it's a lot going on. The kids have been pulled in a lot of different directions. You know what I mean? So if we can, we can get a couple of them and hold on to them, and not saying that we're perfect, but if we can hold on to them and just try to get them, show them something different,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Then maybe they'll see something different. You know what I mean?
That is true. Yep.
Yeah.
That question you had about the circling the friends.
Yeah, I was going to, birds of a feather flock together. Right. So I was going to ask, what does your circle look like, and is it by design? But you kind of answered that question. You and one of your old partners did this because of that shared interest. So
I'm gonna cut you. I'll say this: I've had the same 5 friends my whole entire life.
That's what's up.
That's super relatable,
right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where not to say that I've had guys that I've coached with that we've grown close together, or people I've met through work or experiences, but the same 5 guys, been the same 5 guys. When I need advice, they who I call in the group chat. You know what I mean? If I need, same 5. We don't have to talk every day. We don't have to talk every week, every month. You know what I mean? But same 5 guys. You know what I mean? And we're all different in some way. You know what I'm saying? But what we believe in and the principles that we have, they're pretty much the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? Pretty much, yeah.
That's important, and that's key. And you are very blessed because not everybody can say that.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. I think a lot of success that you have, you know what I'm saying, is about not only getting in the room, but circling yourself around the right people. Mm-hmm. So even just in my business and just on the nonprofit side of what we do, a lot of it's about getting in the room and circling yourself, surrounding yourself with the right people. You know what I mean? Because even on the nonprofit side, I would say it's probably been more of a struggle than my business because, there's so many hoops that you may have to go through, you know what I mean, to kind of get started and to acquire facilities and things of that nature. But when you kind of sort of do things the right way and then you kind of sort of associate yourself with the right people, it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier.
Yes, especially for this being year 2, 3 of the organization and having I
didn't know that you guys
park
were so
home,
new.
you know?
Yeah, I would have thought just by association through Ish and the boys that that your program was around for a lot longer than.
No, we started the year of COVID. You know what I mean? That was it.
Oh, wow.
That was our inaugural season, and COVID
wow.
hit, and the parents still trusted us enough to bring their kids out. We had a great relationship with the because the parks were closed at the time, so we practiced and played and things like that, and congregated at Cross Culture Church, which we still have a great relationship with. They were one of the few people that opened their doors for us. You know what I mean? Because they believed in what we were trying to do. You know what I mean? They said, okay, all right, we'll take a shot at you guys, see what you guys are all about. Excuse me. And then year 2 comes around and the parks open back up, and, it was tooth and nail, but we were able to establish a really good relationship with the city of Stonecrest and acquire a park, you know what I mean, that we utilize. And so, it's been difficult, but like I said, the hard work has definitely paid off. And I can see it in our kids because, all the stuff and the stress that we go through the entire season. Oh, that's the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, but you're going to keep going because it's good.
Through the entire season, we had our end of the year banquet. And I remember I was catching a lot of flack from, some coaches and parents and things of that nature because I made the kids dress up.
Oh, you're supposed to, though.
Yeah. Come in your Sunday best.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Show a level of distinction.
For sure. And I, and my thought process behind that, and I think you were there at the dinner we had with the ladies.
Yeah.
Right. My thought process was, hey, look, the only time I see our young black boys and young black girls dress up to go to a funeral, go sit in court, Easter Sunday maybe, and maybe for a wedding. Mm-hmm. Now, that's just not enough.
Take the opportunity, to present your best version of yourself.
For sure.
You said this is player development, personal development for the youth.
And so to see all of those kids come in there dressed up, the parents were dressed up too as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what was going on that day or what was going on that week. Like that moment right there was everything for me.
Yes, and it was a long road for us to get there.
For sure.
But we got there, and it was beautiful. It was definitely beautiful.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, and it's one of those things where, like I was telling one kid, I was just like, we were just sitting off to the side talking. We was at the front entrance. He was an older kid, and he had told me, he was like, Coach, I I ain't never seen my mom dressed up. I ain't gonna say the kid name. I ain't never seen my mom dressed up. She looked real nice today. I said, you should go tell her that. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I'm a big believer of kids will aspire to be whatever you expose them to.
Yep, that's right.
You know what I mean? So if you just keep them locked in at 285, that's all they're going to do.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, like when I ask my kids where they want to go on a vacation, they don't ever say, you know, Whitewater, Six Flags,
someplace outside.
Mexico, Germany, Australia, Dubai. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things where I'm big on, like I said, you know, at the end of the day, whatever you expose them to do is what they aspire to be.
That's really important for our kids, though.
For sure.
Because everybody else tries to pigeonhole us, our children, our black boys and black girls, and put them in a box and say what you can't and can't do. So it is our responsibility as our own community stakeholders to
for sure
make them, you know, get outside of their boxes.
And what made me really realize that my daughter, she's going to the 8th grade. She's 12. So when she graduated, I mean, I've always kind of like knew she's always been a very, very smart child, but what kind of made me think about what you said about pigeonholing us in the box or just aspiring us to be, you know, other things. I never forget at her 5th grade graduation, her principal said that, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, I heard your name, you know, 5-6 years from now as valedictorian in high school.
Wow.
That never thought about it as a parent. Like I knew, you know, she's always made straight A's, you know, never not, you know what I'm saying, made straight A's, just always been an excellent student. But when I heard that, you know what I'm saying, when she heard that, that's all she aspires to be now.
Possibility.
You know what I mean? Now it's like, okay, I got to make sure that, you know, I said, well, middle school is not going to count towards you being
right. Exactly.
But it's practice though. Keep it up. Yes, sure. Baby girl.
So it's one of those things where now, you know, I believe that everything that she does is intentional in regards to being valedictorian, just another notch on her belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's, again, like I said, whatever we expose them to is what, you know.
They aspire.
And that's why, and I used to tell you, that's why I'm extremely hard on these coaches. You know, I'd be like, look, I don't care what y'all do from, you know, this time, but between 6 and 8, you need to be the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I need these boys and these girls to understand, hey, look, you know, I got somebody here that care about me, but also, too, they're an upstanding individual. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you want to get your adult activities on prior to or afterwards. That's cool. Do your thing.
Right.
But during these 2 hours, you need to be Barack Obama.
I know that's right.
Yes, especially because, and this is we're gonna have 2 more questions and we're gonna close it. But especially because the children of our organization have been impacted not just positively but negatively with their surroundings that's going on around them, because we've had people that have drowned. You know, athletes that have drowned that's been a part of our organization. The young man that was shot at Golden Glide, he was formerly a part of our organization. Wow. So it's important, the things that we're doing with 404, it really impacts it really impacts the children. So with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, the things that we do at 404, just for the people that we want to get to, you know, come on board and come on, because you know what we doing this for. But how do we plan on impacting our athletes mentally this year?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I think that it starts at the top, you know what I'm saying, with the coaching culture. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the things that I've challenged every single coach to do is to become a better coach, not just a football coach, but a better coach in regards to dealing with children. So I've mandated they take certain courses to kind of sort of assist them in that manner. You know what I mean? Also, too, you know, just speaking on the mental health aspect, you know, we're not doctors or anything like that, but one of the things I always encourage them to do is, outside of the sports, make sure that we're taking up time with the boys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even if it's something.
We talk about that all the time.
Even if it's something as simple as throwing together a barbecue, because you never know at that moment what a person is going through.
Right.
You know what I mean? That may, you know, this one event may be the one thing that turned them around.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So plan different things with them. I know for my group, we're gonna take the boys fishing. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
something different. You know, something different. Something.
Again, expose them.
Right. You know what I mean?
Got to get out of 285 for that.
Right, for sure. So we're probably gonna end up taking them fishing, just doing different things, and just kind of sort of, you know, taking up that time with them to show them not only that you care about them, that they're worth something. I think that's the main thing too when we talk about mental health. Most people that struggle don't feel like they're worth anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you have someone in your corner constantly telling you that you're worth something and showing that you're worth something, I think that'll go a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
That's important.
Last question, but not least. Tell everybody why 404 Bulls is the best organization on the East Side. Tell them why it's the best organization on the East Side and why they need to register.
Okay. All right. So let's first and foremost,
one of the best, because we come from the Stevenson side of things, and we like
right.
CJ and we like the Tuckers of the world. But with me, adapting this new home, because I could have been anywhere else, but I'm here with you.
For sure.
So tell them why they should join us.
I'll say this, nothing against anyone else. You know what I'm saying? I believe wholeheartedly in being a pioneer, right? I don't copy nobody. Everything that we do is automatically original. You know what I mean? So for us, you know what I'm saying, if coming to be a part of 404, you know what I'm saying, one, your child's going to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's the number one thing. Number two, you know what I'm saying, they're going to have fun. Because at the end of the day, they're still children. You know what I mean? I get it. Don't get me wrong. We all want to win. Everybody want to hold a trophy up at the end of the season. That's great. But the reality is, you know what I'm saying, football or just sports in general, or what we do specifically, is this is for them to grow mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's what it's for. We're just trying to be a bridge between home and school. That's it. We're trying to be an assistance between home and school. We know the parents got a lot on their plate. We know the school got a lot on their plate. Well, let's help you in whatever way that we possibly can. You know what I'm saying? At 404, we win a lot of games. That helps. You know what I mean?
Y'all won the Mayfield champs, 5U Mayfield champs.
We won a lot of games to be a young organization. You know what I mean? But like I said, I will say this. I think nobody has more dedicated coaches than us. You know what I'm saying? One thing about me, too, personally, as president, I'm not an absent guy. I'm there all the time. I talk to every single person. Yeah. You know what I mean? I try to learn every single kid's name. You know what I mean? So I try to be as personable. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, if you call me, more than likely, I'm probably going to answer the phone. You know what I mean? If a parent has a complaint, you know what I mean? It's not going to go unheard. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a situation where I'm just going to be like, all right, cool. That's it. But then also on top of that, like I said, everything that we do is for the kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we are a true nonprofit, meaning this. None of the money goes in anyone's pockets. All the money goes back to the children. You can see that with everything that they receive throughout the entire year. You know what I mean? So last but not least, selfish plug, right? Right now we're currently registering for fall football. Fall football and fall cheer. You know what I'm saying? For a whopping $250. But that'll get you everything you need and then some. You know what I mean? I will say this, I love all the other programs that are in the area because, as a child, I grew up and played against them. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody that takes on this task of wanting to help the youth. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be lying to myself if I didn't think that we did it the best, because I do. I truly think that we do it the best. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that anyone else is terrible at it, but I just think that we do it the best. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anyone on this planet that loves kids and doing what I do more than I do. I just don't. If you can find somebody, show them to me. Yeah. Because I don't think there is.
I love that.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Especially as a black man. So
for sure.
That's shout out to you, Coach K, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming to being a guest on our show today.
I appreciate y'all.
Tell everybody where they could follow you, how they could tap in with you, 404, where they could follow 404 Bulls,
and how they can order their
apparel. Yeah,
right. So first and foremost, we can get the business out of the way, right? So Locker Room Sports Apparel, just as you heard it, lockerroomsportsapparel.com. You find me on Instagram at Locker Sports App, you know what I mean? But you can get straight to the Instagram and the Twitter straight from our website, you know what I mean? 404 Bulls is just that. 404 Bulls Instagram, 404 Bulls Twitter, 404bulls.org on the web, you know what I mean? You can follow me on Instagram at Kennard_Turner, you know what I mean? That's KENNARD_TURNER. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, you can get everything from there, you know what I'm saying? The full gamut. So definitely, you know what I'm saying? Check us out, you know what I mean? Because I think that, what we're doing, it's probably going to change. Somebody inside of our organization is going to be a prominent figure in the next 20 years.
I love that.
I'm claiming that.
It's going to be me, but the kids too. I'm just kidding.
It'll be more than one for sure.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but for sure. But thank you so much, Coach K. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And get into all the other bonus content we have.
That's right. And while you're at it, make sure it is May. So get your ticket right now for More Life, More Wine, More Convos. This month we are discussing mental health and mental wellness. May 25th, 7:30 at Genesis Atlanta. Tickets, you can get those tickets at the link in our bio. Make sure you tell your friend, take advantage of these packages, and we will see you there. Okay?
All right. Don't sleep.